Good time gaming.
What is up, guys? It's your main man Axiom, and we're at the end of another great year in games. Tonight I'm going to run down some of the highlights from this year, as well as some of the worst moments for gamers that we had this year. This isn't meant to be an exhaustive list by any means, just a quick little fun thing I threw together. It is mainly meant to just kind of highlight some of the things that stuck out in my mind. So without further ado, let's get this party train rolling, award show style. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to the Good Time Gaming Year-End Review. Presented in the glorious theater here, freshly remodeled with a fresh coat of paint. Bodies removed, shrubs have been burned away. Please, everyone, take a seat and we will begin. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, please take a seat. Audience, please sit. Look, we can't get this thing rolling unless you all take a seat. Okay, you know what? Fuck it. Let's begin! We start with a look at the biggest collective controversy of the year. I call it the microtransaction takeover. Micro-fucking-transactions. They are everywhere. Everywhere. What started as a way for free-to-play games and mobile games to pull in a steady source of income, this has morphed into a monster that is engulfing the gaming world. A microtransaction, for the sake of this video, would include any tacked-on purchasable item within the game. I'm not including DLC, just those little boosts, power-ups, or single characters that are purchased here and there, and are not part of some bigger DLC or season pass scheme. 2015 saw these microtransactions pop up in places that we never imagined. The one near and dear to my heart is Payday 2, which resulted in a shitstorm of epic proportions for developer Overkill Software, after the player base exploded and trotted out previous promises by the developers to not introduce microtransactions. Destiny also had them introduced with a cute little name called Silver. Originally, you were only able to buy things that most people didn't care about, neutral things. Silver could get you some fancy new emotes. For me, microtransactions are the sort of thing that I don't really give a damn if it's just for emotes. You want to spend $5 so your character can do an air guitar emote? You're an idiot, but okay. But that wasn't the end of it. No, sir. For the low price of $30, you could buy a boost that would auto-level a character up to level 25. Considering that level 40 is the max and level 25 doesn't take that long to get to, and that players who bought the Legendary Edition of Taken King got a booster to get to 25 anyways, and that Taken King currently retails for about $40 in the PlayStation Store and even less elsewhere, it's kinda bullshit. Kinda bullshit. Halo even saw the introduction of microtransactions this year in Halo 5, called Rec Packs. These contain cosmetic items, special emotes that you do whenever you kill somebody in a certain way, and buffs for competitive multiplayer. That's also bullshit. But that isn't all. Check them out in the upcoming Uncharted 4, the free-to-play Fable Legends, Metal Gear Solid 5, World of Warcraft, which is still a subscription-based game, mind you, and you get the looming feeling that microtransactions are here to stay. And you know what? They are, because the research shows that people will spend the money, gladly. What's more is that people who buy microtransactions are often looked down on. Like in some Payday 2 parties, people will kick you for using a gun with the skin on it. Hell, there's even a scientific paper published that examines this phenomenon and confirms that people who buy microtransactions are viewed less favorably than those who do not. So that must mean that nobody's buying them, right? Wrong, wrong, wrong! Look here in this article. Microsoft revealed that in just 1 week, a total of $500,000 was dropped on microtransactions in Halo 5. $500,000 in 1 week. Now, some of this money goes to a global championship prize pool, but that percentage is unknown and really only a handful of players will benefit from that. Check out Dota 2, a free-to-play MOBA. For every sale of the compendium, 25% of that is put into a global prize pool, which currently sits at $18,429,613 as of this moment right now. But let's multiply that by 4. We now have a total of $73,718,452 for a free-to-play game. God damn it, Obama. So you see the fallacy there? I hate humanity sometimes. Let's get some reaction from the audience. Excuse me, sir. What do you think of microtransactions? He's speechless. Moving on, we now have the biggest disappointment of the year, the Batman Arkham Knight PC port. Yes gamers, the Arkham series has always been one of quality and epicness, aside from that mess that was Batman Arkham Origins, of course. Knight promised to deliver an epic tale with no shortage of asses to kick, an open world, and a drivable Batmobile. It delivered all of these things, but on PC there were some problems. From the start, players complained about the game being nigh unplayable, wildly inconsistent frame rates, little to no graphical options, frame rates that capped out at 30 FPS if you were lucky, no support for SLI, random crashes, hitches, and freezes. It was ugly. It was so bad the game was pulled from shelves for a period of time, and Warner Bros. Offered full refunds for the game. Now for me, I never really had these issues. I had a crash here or there, but the game was totally playable and ran fine for me. But I was in the minority. With the PC port coming out so damn bad, responsibility had to be laid at someone's feet. Warner Bros. Issued a pretty good little apology where they apologized for the quality of the game, said they were going to try and fix it, but with such extensive issues, how could you not know about these issues, right? It turns out the PC port was handled by a different studio, not Rocksteady, and that Warner Bros. Had known about these issues for a while, yet chose to go ahead and push the game out the door anyways. Unacceptable and a damn shame. Today the game is a lot more playable than what it was at start. The graphics options are all there, the frame rates are much more consistent, it generally runs very well. Arkham Knight is by far my favorite entry in the Arkham series, and while most of the DLC is trash, the recently released Season of Infamy was actually quite nice. In particular the encounter of Mr. Freeze, which was incredibly humanizing, one of Batman's most enduring adversaries. It's unfortunate though, because no matter what condition the PC version is in, it's going to be forever tainted with the memory of that horrible, horrible release.
My work, the equipment, it's all gone. I can't save you. Maybe there's another way.
Victor, this isn't you. I won't let you destroy yourself anymore. I wish I could have told you sooner.
I don't want you to die, Nora.
Then let me live.
We won't have much time. Days.
Time never has been on our side, Victor.
Right in the feels, guys. Right in the feels. Are there any Batman fans in the audience tonight? Oh yes, you sir. Your name please. The name's Crane. Hey, what do you think of Batman, sir? Well, you know what I think of Batman? I think he's a little... Apologies for that, ladies and gentlemen, but don't worry, security's sorting out that crazy guy. Next up is again made me say, I can't believe I like this. This War of Mine. Play as a small crew of survivors trying to ride out a brutal civil war in an unnamed European city. You'll have to contend with disease, winter, starvation, looters, the army, and your own psyche as you try and survive until the end of the conflict. This game was tough as nails on my first time through, and any mistake that you made could spell the end for your survivor, and for your entire little enclave of survivors as well, as the game is quick to autosave behind you. You'll have to do things at some point that might be a little bit questionable for you as the player. Should you steal from some civilians? Should you kill the civilians, take their stuff? What do you do there? While you might be okay with doing some of those things, your player characters won't always be okay with killing random people, killing innocents, and will get depressed, and they might stop eating. They could also commit suicide because of the choices that you make, the player. So just because you're okay with doing something questionable doesn't mean it's going to be the best choice for your survivors. After all, if your survivors all become severely depressed and broken, then they won't want to do anything. They'll just sit there and you will lose the game. You will die because of the choice you made. The game definitely is difficult, but if you can man or woman up, use your brain and have a little bit of luck, you too can survive. Check this game out, especially now since it's probably on sale. Does anyone in the audience here tonight know anything about survival? Oh yes sir, and what is your name? Well, my friends call me Squirrel. Squirrel? Well, I've met a lot of idiots in my life. Never met one named Squirrel. Alright then sir, tell us what you know about survival. Well, you see, I was out hunting one day with me and my pappy, and we came across a death claw, and I saw it before he did, and I ran away. He got ate. That's my story how I survived. Wow, what a tale. But you should know there's someone here tonight that would like to speak with you. Just over here, follow me. Oh, is it my pappy? Did he make it? He made it, didn't he? I love a happy ending. Next up is our Game of the Year award. This year, the game that was the absolute best was Fallout 4. Fallout 4. Fallout, okay, fine. The Witcher 3. At this point, you've probably heard of The Witcher 3 unless you have been frozen in cryostasis for 100 years, or maybe you're an alien, or maybe you just woke up out of a coma and you're suddenly rediscovering the world and all the wonderful things in it. The Witcher 3 has, by many publications and websites, and pretty much just the gamer population as a whole, been named as one of the best games of the year. And for me, it was also no exception as well. The game was just so good. I didn't play The Witcher 1, and I didn't play a whole lot of The Witcher 2 either, so The Witcher 3, I was really drawn in just by the scale of it and what it looked like it could be. And the fact that, CD Projekt Red, which is the developer, they have a very good track record of just going well above and beyond on the PC platform. So I was definitely expecting some good stuff there. And it delivered. It's a wonderfully gritty, brutal, bloody romp through a medieval style fantasy land. It's just I can't say enough good things about it. Really, I can't. It's one of those games that you would have to play before you die, like seriously. If I found out I was gonna die in a week and it's like, what do you want to go back and play? That would be on the list, definitely. It would be that. I want to go through that one more time. Not only that, but I spent a good few minutes at the start of the video talking about microtransactions and how companies are just nickel and diming everybody and just fucking us over. The Witcher 3 has a number of free add-ons that have been released for it, everything from costumes to additional quests. And most other companies, I believe, would have charged this. They would have said, okay, you want to have a new costume for Yennefer, that's going to be 99 cents. You want to have a new costume for Triss, that's going to be 99 cents. You want this new quest that's like an hour? Yeah, you can pay us $2 for that. We'll give you that. But they let it all out there for free. All for free. Which is amazing, and it's just such a good way to treat your consumer base. Absolutely. There is a season pass, and there are 2 very lengthy campaigns for that. I haven't played them yet. One's already been released, Heart of Stone. The other one's going to be released in the first half of the new year. So I'll probably play that one, but I'm a little bit behind on that. I haven't played the new expansion. So if you guys played it, let me know what you think. But from what I've read, it seems like it's really good. This was definitely a good year for games, and The Witcher 3 is part of my good year of games. So thank you very much, Geralt, for the wonderful journey we went on, and for the epic memories that I will have. The last thing I wanted to kind of talk about was not really an award type thing, but I just want to kind of give a little shout out in a way to, this was my first year to be partnered with a MCN, so I ended up partnering with Curse, as many of y'all know. I put out a video of that a few months back whenever I did that partnership, and so far it's definitely worth it. It's definitely been really good. I'll probably release a review of that. So I'll probably do a video in a few months just to kind of review what the experience has been for me with Curse and how I've liked being in there. If I haven't liked being in there, I don't know. I was drawn in by the fact that there's no contracts, so if I wanted to say, fuck you guys, I'm out of here tomorrow, I could do that. The fact that their revenue sharing is very generous. A lot of MCNs will want like 40% or 50% of whatever ad revenue you make, which I don't really do it for the money, but just like the thought that that much is going to someone else to manage my shit, and they're not really even doing much of anything half the time. I'm the one that makes the stuff, right? So I didn't like how that sounded. Curse gives you 90% and they only keep 10, which is nice. And the best part has been being able to use various music tracks that are all royalty free. So some of the stuff you've been hearing in this video, as well as other videos, like the music in the background, is from Epidemic, which is one of like the They have like a partnership with Curse to where, you know, to where all of the YouTubers who use Curse are able to use Epidemic's music, and we don't have to pay anything for it. So it's pretty sweet. It's definitely, I would say, probably the highest point, because I feel like my videos have just a little bit better quality for that. So I'm very excited about that. So that's definitely been a big thing this year. Hitting 1,000 subscribers is big too, but I feel like this partnership might be the thing that gives me the extra little push to do even better. So that's exciting.
My scales are dry with disappointment.
And now we have come to our final game of the evening. This is not a game that we received this year, but one that we hope we birthed into existence next year. That game is Far Cry 3 Blood Dragon.
I gotta do my shit. I'll find the bunker entrance.
And I'll provide the distraction. Let's show them how cyber commandos get it done.
Mark 4 style, motherfucker!
I did a similar video last year, though it wasn't really as good as this one. I mean, hopefully this one's better anyways. But either way, I did an end of year video last year, and I said the same thing last year, that I wish we had gotten a sequel to Blood Dragon. Just a little bit of background. So Blood Dragon came out a little bit after Far Cry 3 was released, and it used the same engine, but it was done in a completely different and crazy way. It's like this cyberpunk, cyber commando, post-apocalyptic, I don't know what. Like, it's wild. It's completely not at all related to the main Far Cry 3 game, and honestly, it's a hell of a lot better than Far Cry 3 ever was. It has like this neon craziness going on. The guns fire lasers. It's like badass versions of the stuff you find in Star Wars. The game is hilarious. It has the most ridiculous sense of humor. Your main character, Rex, is awesome as well. The game's probably about 7 or so hours long. It wasn't full price whenever it was released. It was probably about $15 starting out. So I mean, for the price that you pay and for what you get, it's really worth it. And it's just very unique. There's not a lot of games like it. So I highly recommend Far Cry 3 Blood Dragon if you've never played it before. And I hope that, hopefully, in the future, we will have a sequel to Blood Dragon. Maybe with the upcoming, the new Far Cry that's coming out. I forget what the name's called, but it has like a tribal setting. Maybe we'll get one for that. I don't know. But all I know is I want a good, solid sequel. Just saying. Audience, thank you so much for staying seated, and thank you so much for attending to this wonderful award show. As a special parting gift, we would like to introduce you to some of our friends from out of town. For everyone else watching at home, we'll see you in 2016, gamers.